Hey everybody, welcome to today's video, and my name's Charlotte Pridmore. I'm the founder of All Woman, and today I'm very excited about this subject because it's one that's very important to me. So the reason that I love working with women at the point of change, so I've recognised through my own experience and working with women over the last decade that there is certain points in a woman's life where there is a moment of clarity. It usually happens around 30, definitely around 40, and also beyond. I recognise that in those moments of change, the fundamental basics of what holds somebody back is expectation, is what I should be doing at this age, what I ought to be doing at this age, or what's expected of me to have had, done, achieved, whatever by now. And its best friend, what people think. Those two things are subliminal, they are silent, but they can be deadly when you are trying to achieve, be, do, or have, or change something in your life. What I'm super passionate about is that as we, I mean women, as we get older, we become bolder. So if we decide that we want to start a new business, begin a new relationship, start anything new, that we just have the confidence to go do it. When I was 19, I moved to London, and my first job was at a big publishing house. I was selling advertising space, big publishing house. I was 19, and the woman I rented my first room off was 31. And she was great at her job. She was single. She owned her own home. And I said to her one day, "Are you not worried?" And she was like, "What do you mean? I'm not worried about what?" She was like, I was like, "Are you not worried that you've not got a boyfriend and settled down yet?" Like, her head nearly fell off. Like, she was like, "What?" She's like, "I'm 31. Because she was like, "I'm enjoying my life. Like, I'm just into my career. Like, what are you talking about?" And in that moment, like, my narrow-minded naiveness couldn't quite get my head around it, because where I grew up, by 31, you definitely married and you probably had a few kids. In her world, that wasn't the expectation at all. So I recognised in that moment, at the ripe old age of 19, that, like, it doesn't have to be this way. Like, it doesn't have to, I don't have to fall in line with this expectation. So no matter where we grow up, no matter what environment we grow up in, town, city, whatever, there are expectations given to us, and especially as women, when it comes to motherhood and marriage and settling down and all the things, we have this clock that ticks, and we are given it. Like, we're given it by society, we're given it by everybody around us, and there's certain places that, well, everywhere, you're given your expectations. And what happens is that even if we don't want to fall in line with them, if we don't fall in line with them, there is this sort of residual, like, weirdness, like residual guilt, residual pressure and anxiety. Oh, I should be here by now, or I should be doing this by now. And so many of us are carrying this around with us, and I want to sort of help you identify the things that maybe, the expectations that are hanging around for you that are making you feel anxious, or making you feel like you can't move forward, or making you not be able to make decisions about where you want to move to or what you want to do. And also about identifying what's the narrative, what's the mind chatter that's also supporting those beliefs. So first step is ask yourself, my favorite question, if I could wave a magic wand and step into the fully expressed version of myself, what would life look like? What would I do for a living? How would I dress? Where would I live? What would my sex life look like? What would, everything. But most importantly, how would I feel about myself? So answer that question. No holds barred, no expectations, nothing. Just, if I could wave a magic wand and step into the fully expressed version of myself, what would I see? How would I feel? What would I be, do, and have, right? Number 2. Now, second step, if you have answers on that aren't your current reality, make a list of all the reasons why, or the expectations around why you don't have those things, and also the mind chatter that supports them. So, for example, I'd wear bright lipstick every day because it makes me feel good. The expectation, the mind chatter behind that is, well, you couldn't really do that because you'll look like you're trying too hard, and you should just reserve like bright lipstick for when you go out. Stupid little things, but you'll understand why in a minute. Or, you shouldn't have long hair past 40. Something I've heard a lot. Like, once you get past 40, you really shouldn't have long hair. Like, I've heard that a lot in my life. Now, number 3. Reflect on how much of this is total bullshit. Pick one and then change it. Because there are so many ridiculous little things that we stop ourselves doing on a day-to-day basis. And if we don't recognize the little things that we aren't doing because of expectation and mind chatter, or what people think, because of what people think, if we don't recognize the little things that we're doing on a daily basis that create the watered down version of ourselves instead of the fully expressed version of ourselves, because that's all it is. Not being the fullest expressed version of yourself is not this massive leap. It is the small little decisions you make every single day, or don't make, that because of expectation, because of mind chatter, because we're worried about what people think, that all those tiny little decisions every day compound over time to us being a watered down version of ourselves instead of the fully expressed version of ourselves. So it's a silly example. The lipstick is a silly example, but metaphorically it resonates, because you're like, just wear the damn lipstick. Just wear it. It makes you feel good. What are all the things that you're not doing that make you feel good, or that would make you feel good if you gave yourself the opportunity to do them, simply because it's not what's expected, or you're worried about what people think? So I hope that's helped. So just to go over those steps again. Number 1, ask yourself, if I could step into the fullest, most expressed version of myself, what would everything look like? What lens would I be looking through? How would I look? How would I feel? What would I be doing? What would my life look like? Look at that list. Step 2, if there's things on that list that aren't your current reality, take the small things first, look at them and think, is this complete? Like, what is going on here? What is what expectations are surrounding this? What self-talk is surrounding this? And what fear about what people think is surrounding me not doing this? Then step 3, decide which of those are complete bullshit. Most of them will be. And then pick the small things and make a step in the direction of, actually, I'm going to do this because it makes me feel good. It's how I express myself. It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel good about myself. And I'm just going to let go of the expectation of what I should be, would be, could be doing. And I'm going to ignore the mind chatter. And I'm going to not worry about what people think on this one little thing. Because the compound effect of you making those little decisions every day mean that when you go to make a big decision, start the business, start a new relationship, start anything new, that you have the evidence that you can make decisions and make moves and take action in the direction of something that makes you happy, that lights you up, that is your desire, and that you get to do it and it's okay, that it works out. It's also evidence that you can feel fear, you can feel judgment and still move. So the message today is wear the damn lipstick, grow your hair, do whatever you need to do to make you feel like the fullest, most expressed version of yourself. I'll speak to you soon. Take care.